before me joining Everton, and there was speculation about it, as everybody I spoke to seemed to be an Everton supporter, and there was folk from the media who I knew phoning me up and saying I'm actually an Evertonian, and the people I bumped in the streets, even round Preston, were saying, do you know I support Everton? So it gave me the feeling that every person supported Everton, and it was just something I said, but it's been picked up on, and you know, I'm glad it gives the supporters something to sort of be proud of their club of.
Hello, this is Ray Stubbs, and this is the story of the 2001-2002 season for Everton Football Club. It began after having said goodbye to two of the most successful youth team graduates, Michael Ball and Francis Jeffers, both already capped by England at different levels. But the hope of a return to fitness of Paul Gascoigne, combined with the signings of Alan Stubbs and Thomas Radzinski, meant all was not doom and gloom in the Goodison camp. Add to that the fact that Everton were about to enjoy their best start to a season for over 15 years, and it was soon obvious there was plenty for Walter Smith's men to look forward to. Everton's opening game saw the side journey down to the capital to face a rejuvenated Charlton side, but it was to be Everton who took all 3 points on the day.
So Watson's throw, putting a bit of pressure on Charlton. Gravison went for that. Comes Pembridge. Good stop from Kiley, but beautiful strike from Mark Pembridge. He really hit that cleanly. Kiley, all the reflexes, pull that one out. Now, half a clearance from Campbell. Stubbs didn't really get on the end of that. It's not away yet. Weir hasn't got hold of that, and Jonathan Johansson has, and Charlton have the lead against the run of play. Johansson, though, it was a beautifully measured header, but it was a gift. The long periods of the game, they've really looked the better side. But that'd have been handball. Well, that's certainly a penalty kick. Steve Brown. Campbell didn't even have to make a fuss. The referee straight away pointed to the spots, and Walter Smith could we go down to the dugout to see this one? No doubt at all. And Duncan Ferguson, another story behind his penalties last couple of occasions. No problem with this one. There's the badge, and Everton are level. Well, they really could be turning it round. Gravison's corner. Weir! What a goal! David Weir! They didn't even see him. And the big Scot, he's not the most well-known goal scorer. It was like a centre forward. Lovely piece of control. And a wonderful finish to put Everton in front, which is no less than they deserve.
A Duncan Ferguson goal had helped grab the points at Charlton, and there would be another against Tottenham for the first home game just 48 hours on.
Tottenham finishing the half stronger of the two sides. It's Everton who had all the possession and the best chances. Darren Anderton on the charge through the middle to Teddy Sheringham. A neat return from him. Anderton digs it out, edge of the box. Everson's in behind them. and Spurs have done it, and it's Darren Anderton who forces it home. 46 minutes played, and for the first time Spurs came at Everton with any real purpose and passion. Sweet pass out left to David Unsworth. Stoney sends one in towards Ferguson. Now Campbell with a chance. Doherty all over him again, and Mr. Ellery finally gives Everton some justice in the penalty area. Gary Doherty, again twisted away by Campbell, and Doherty receives his second yellow card of the evening, and he will play no further part. Ferguson against Sullivan, no doubt about that. The folk hero Duncan Ferguson proudly shows the badge of Everton. The Blues are level, and Ferguson, 2 starts, 2 goals, 2 penalties.
The disappointment of a point drop was more than made up for by Everton's second win in 3 against Middlesbrough, a win that took them to the top of the Premiership table.
Everton looking the more complete of the 2 sides. It's they who have the Premiership points, remember. Middlesbrough still struggling without a goal or a point, as Kevin Campbell breaks free in the box, looking for some space. Nice ball in, Ferguson's up there! Just wide of the post, Duncan Ferguson. Absolutely outsmarted and out-jumped Schwarzer, and so close to his 3rd of the season. So first corner of the game to the Blues. Mark Pembridge will swing it in. Ferguson, Weir and Stubbs are up there. Campbell's up there! And Captain Campbell opens his account for the season. The Middlesbrough defence seem more occupied with Ferguson, Weir and Stubbs. But super Kevin Campbell, with his first of the season for Everton, on 19 minutes, breaks the deadlock here at Goodison. And what a lovely finish that was. Again, Schwarzer wasn't comfortable in the air, and Campbell got in between him and Fleming. Southgate was all over the place as well, and that is a quality finish from a quality player. David Unsworth has got Ferguson again, looking for the flick into Campbell. Alexanderson, good save by Schwarzer. Chance not over yet, Alexanderson again. Alexanderson scampering over to take this one. Takes it quickly from Toll. Falls kindly for Gemmell! What a peach from Scott Gemmell! And didn't Everton deserve that one? Well, we've seen some fine goals at Goodison over the years, but Scott Gemmell knows that will rank amongst them. Middlesbrough didn't clear the corner properly, and it's sat up invitingly for Scott Gemmell. And some breathing space now for the Blues. Lovely finish from Gemmell, who worked so hard for the team. The beefy figure of Dean Windass into Paul Ince. Nemeth. Jobs away, this could be dangerous for Everton. Splendid save by Gerrard. Danger not over yet. Pistone concedes a corner.
It took a long time to come down, to be honest, and I was just concentrating on trying to make a clean connection. I won't kid you. You know, it's just nice to see them go in. I didn't actually see the ball go in the net, but I certainly enjoyed it. We've given ourselves a great platform now to build on anything other than in the top half pushing for Europe. we're going to be disappointed ourselves. I realise we've still got to convince the public, but that's something we aim to do.
It's a terrific goal coming out at the edge of the box like that, and you see them a lot of the time, and you know, they don't hit them well, but hit that one well. An excellent goal.
An unbelievable month finished with Everton in second place in the Premiership, having, for a brief period, occupied the dizzy heights of top spot. It was a delight for players and fans alike, particularly in the wake of the loss of Ball and Jeffers. There was every chance the bubble would burst on a trip to Old Trafford, despite last season's battling performance there and this season's fine start. Sir Alex Ferguson's men took over, Veron scoring the first, swiftly followed by Cole. In the second half, Quintin Fortune extended the lead before Campbell pulled one back for Everton. Duncan Ferguson hit the post before Beckham's goal in a game Everton fans will be keen to put behind them. Everton fans had for a long time known the misery of early cup exits at the hands of relatively lesser footballing mortals. But after Duncan Ferguson had put Everton ahead with a penalty, after only 5 minutes against Crystal Palace in the Worthington Cup, Ghost looked ready to be put to rest. After Palace's equaliser, however, the game progressed towards a penalty-bound stalemate. And once again, Everton came unstuck from the penalty spot in the penalty shootout against lesser opposition. Kevin Campbell has always enjoyed Merseyside derbies, and he started well in the latest fixture against the Red side. Liverpool hit some form though after Campbell's goal, and finishes by Gerrard, a penalty by Owen, and finally by Risa gave them a second successive away victory over their main rivals in the same calendar year. 3 sudden defeats after what had been a superb season start augured badly for a trip to Blackburn, and Everton failed to score for the first time in 15 matches. Duncan Ferguson's missed penalty was a sign of things to come. Once the Italian, Gravi, had scored his first goal for Blackburn, Everton were always chasing the game, though Joe Max Moore was unlucky when he hit the post later in the match. Two years previously, Everton had demolished their next opponent 6-0. But West Ham now had a new manager and were arriving after a fine win over early Championship contenders Newcastle. Though Everton had new signing Thomas Radzinski making his home debut.
Encouraging signs for Walter Smith's side. They have created chances. Kevin Campbell and Thomas Gravison vie for possession. Radzinski wide right, good ball in from him, dangerous ball in from him, Song forced to clear. Again, West Ham almost asleep at the back, allowing Everton possession again. Campbell! Oh, what a finish! And the effort finally pays off for Everton. A sweet ball in from Alexanderson, and again West Ham asleep as Kevin Campbell profits for the Blues. Little flick on for Radzinski. Oh, he was in behind them there. Thomas Radzinski almost opening his account for Everton. The free kick quickly taken, the flick from Campbell, and Radzinski left them for dead again there. This man's so quick, isn't he? Alexanderson with the cross. His lock got it all wrong, and Everton are 2-0 in front. And it's Don Hodgson who collided with Hislop, has scored for his old club. Here's Thomas Gravesen now. Brzezinski's away on the left. Gravesen goes right, looking for Campbell. All the way, Gravesen! What a finish! Oh my goodness, it's raining goals at Goodison now. And Thomas Gravesen, his first of the season for the Blues.
The goal scorer for Everton, number 16.
And again, West Ham undone at the back. Gravesen picked that one up in his own half. Right through the middle, the danger seemed to have gone. And then he came up with that finish. What a sweet strike from Thomas Gravesen. As Campbell looks forward. Gravesen again. Special effort from Gravesen. Shots raining in on Hislop's goal now. Full 30 yards. Thomas Gravesen. Back to Campbell again. Watson makes the overlap. Hislop down at the near post. Danger not over. Stevie Watson's got one. Goodness me. Another comedy of errors at the back for West Ham. But the persistence of Steve Watson gives him his first of the season.
Number 2, Steve Watson.
Well, Campbell waited for Watson to join in. Hislop thought he had it safe. But a lovely shimmy and flick of the hips from Watson onto the left foot. Brzezinski, who surely he deserves one this afternoon. Brzezinski for Everton! Oh, that's 5! That is 5! And the one man who surely deserves a goal today, Thomas Brzezinski, he's worked tirelessly, has sent that lot into raptures. What a finish from Brzezinski. It looked as if the chance had gone. It looked as if Hislop had driven him wide. But that's what they paid the money for. The man brought in to replace Francis Jeffers does so with style.
September began as badly as August had been radiant for Everton, but the 5-goal thrashing of West Ham restored the faith of the supporters and still represented a reasonable start to the season. After an international fixture weekend, Everton travelled to strugglers Ipswich and fought out a goalless draw that demonstrated the resilience of a defence that had only conceded 1 goal in 3 matches. Indeed, Everton could have won had Kevin Campbell put this chance away. Aston Villa had made an excellent start to the season and hadn't conceded a goal for 4 games. But Everton had rediscovered winning form at Goodison Park and weren't about to surrender it that easily.
Steve Watson's been everywhere. Really? And that was Gravesen's quickly taken free kick, but Campbell couldn't organise it. Alexanderson's cross, Naismith, and Watson! And Steve Watson has scored against his old side. Well, he began the move. Gravesen's pass. Campbell couldn't get his footing. Alexanderson to Naismith, and brave header from Steve Watson. A defender who can score goals. As we all know, Everton have the lead. Just seems they play with much more confidence with that goal behind them. Gravison putting pressure on the defence with a terrible mistake. This is Naismith. And Rosiński! Villa totally gifting it. And Rosiński is delighted, but Naismith's the man who did the work. Gravison first put pressure on the defence. Naismith taking the ball down the left, picking out Rosiński. Excellent play. And Everton have a goal cushion now. Gravison's got his own idea. Stoney wants to take it. But Gravison squeezed it through! 2 in 3 minutes for Everton. And real Danish class this time, as one Great Dane beats another. The wall broke up miserably. Gravison's shot was true. Everton have a 3-0 lead. Gemmell set him up, and he didn't disappoint. There's a certain nervousness about a cushion like this. Here's Vassal. Villa looking for a way back into this game. Hadji! Well, they might have found it. There's still 20 minutes to go. And even Schmeichel, I can tell you, has made the journey up for this. There's nobody back for Villa. It might come to Schmeichel! Well, a second moment of Danish class. Peter Schmeichel has volleyed a marvellous goal. Storm's corner, and look at this volley from Schmeichel.
I felt it was a terrific match. You know, Aston Villa started the game extremely well for 15 minutes or so. We had the best of the next 15 minutes, managed to get a goal in that period, and a bit scrappy before half time. Second half we started extremely well, and for 20 minutes played as well as we have done this season, and managed to get ourselves 3 up. I was expecting Villa to be resilient enough, and they came back, and it was a little bit tight at the end there.
Everton were now 8th in the Premiership, and with a second home game in a week had every hope of climbing further. On the day, however, Newcastle proved too slick, and after a disastrous collision between Javier and Gerrard, Bellamy put them ahead. That was followed by a second from Solano. Weir pulled a goal back for Everton, but after Ferguson missed this chance, Acuna wrapped up the points for Newcastle. Everton ended the month in mid-table, and Walter Smith was happy that Paul Gascoigne was edging his way back to full fitness. Newly promoted Bolton Wanderers' start to the season had been completely unexpected, coming as it had with wins at Old Trafford and a 100% record at one stage. Everton gave them a few shocks on their visit to the Reebok and almost won the game on the day, with Alan Stubbs facing his old club for the first time in Everton's colours. Steve Simonson was making his first ever Premiership start.
Number of options here. Franson's one of them. And Per Franson has given Bolton the lead. Everton still haven't got the wall sorted. They paid the price. Quickly taken free kick. So, Stubbs right at the end of the first half. That is a magnificent free kick. And Alan Stubbs, against his old club, could have wished for no more. You can see how much it means to him. Gravison in the end stood on it, and Stubbs hit it like a bullet. It went straight in. And now Naismith's really got some width here. It's Gascoigne! Paul Gascoigne's first goal for Everton. And 12 minutes into the second half, they've turned the game on its head. Bolton had led for most of the first. Stubbs' free kick pulled it back on half-time, and now Gascoigne has given them a real sight of victory. Naismith's cross just caught a Bolton heel, but Gascoigne really got hold of it. Nothing was going to stop that ball from hitting the back of the net. And they're all back. Everyone is back. And Ricketts! On the line, Michael Ricketts, in injury time, has stolen a point for the home side.
Bet you enjoyed that goal at Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, I did. It was good to go back there. You know, I've still got one or two friends there. You know, not a lot there now from when I was playing. You know, but it always throws up something when you go back to one of your old clubs. You know, something like that. And yeah, it was great to score. You know, just a pity that we never got the win that we deserved.
And after Paul Gascoigne's first goal for Everton, it was Chelsea next, a side that had only been beaten once on their travels. Everton gave as good as they got, but couldn't penetrate Claudio Ranieri's well-organised defence. The closest they came being a shot from Scott Gemmell. And if it hadn't been for this brilliant save from Steve Simonsen from Gianfranco Zola 3 minutes from time, it could have all been very different.
Steve, it took a while coming the breakthrough into the first team. You'd been patient. Was that patience beginning to wear a little bit thin?
Not really, no. I mean, I always thought that if, you know, I stuck in there and kept working hard, then, you know, eventually a chance would come around. And, you know, fortunately enough it did. And, you know, I was quite happy with the way I took it.
Now, you really are in the spotlight as a goalkeeper. There's no margin for error. It was very important for you to get a good start, and you certainly did that at Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit unfortunate at the end. I think, you know, we deserved to win that game, but, you know, we conceded in the last minute there, and you know, we're disappointed to come away with a draw there. But as I say, you know, we went on from that, and you know, from my own personal point of view, you know, I got a couple of clean sheets after that, which was a great way, you know, to start me running the side.
I was going to mention one of those clean sheets against Chelsea at Goodison. Again, your full home debut. That must have been so important for you to get off to a good start.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, because a lot of the fans hadn't seen anything of us, you know, and it was a sort of chance for me to prove to them, you know, that I could do the job. And fortunately enough, you know, it went quite well, and, you know, as I say, a clean sheet and a nice save there from Zola at the end of the free kick.
Everton had certainly tightened up their defence, but goals were now becoming hard to come by, as it proved on a trip to Dave Bassett's improving Leicester City. Still, another point in the bag was pleasing for Walter Smith's travelling side. Alan Stubbs seeing his early shot deflected, and another brilliantly saved by Ian Walker. Frank Sinclair had his header cleared off the line by Gary Naismith before Simonsen made another great save, this time from Jamie Scowcroft. That guaranteed Everton's hard-earned point. November saw Everton's 3 draws lose them the initiative gained in October. Nevertheless, the return to the first team and goal scoring of Paul Gascoigne was a delight for the fans and the players alike. Everton began December with an impressive display against Gordon Streck and Southampton in front of the Sky cameras. And though they could have had a hatful, finished delighted with a 2-goal cushion.
Neat ball forward, and Rosiński brings in Scott Gemmell. Watson ahead of him, Alexanderson out to the right. Good opening for Everton, and Alexanderson with the first Everton goal for the Blues this afternoon. Neat flip by Watson, releasing Rosiński. Some room for the... Rosiński! Oh my goodness! He found some room, and Thomas Rosiński puts Everton in front. First blood to the Blues, and 1-0. And didn't this game need a goal? He had some room to run into, Thomas Rosiński, and a crisp finish for his 3rd of the season. Oh, the evergreen Paul Gascoigne drives forward for Everton through the middle. Gascoigne brings the save from Jones, and Watson with the follow-up. A little shimmy of the hips, through into the box. His strength carried him. And that was almost vintage Paul Gascoigne for Everton. Watson under intense pressure from Williams on the follow-up. Couldn't convert. Now it's Gravison for Everton, wide right. Swings one in, and Pembridge! And that's the second, and that's the one they wanted. Well, Gravison again atones for the second miss with a beautiful ball across. And the slide rule finish from the Welshman Mark Pembridge surely gives Everton the 3 points, and that's a happy Walter Smith.
Fulham's mean defence hadn't conceded a goal for 205 minutes of Premiership play, and when Barry Hales gave them the lead on 36 minutes, defeat looked imminent. Hales scored a second from a corner in the second half, and it proved another fruitless trip to the capital for Everton. It was compounded by a very harsh dismissal for David Weir. Derby County arrived with the worst defensive record in the Premiership. Could Everton take advantage?
Alexanderson with the corner. Stoney! Well, I don't know if that got any assistance under the post. But desperately unlucky, Pistone. We'll have a look from behind the goal. No, it was clean on. Anderson again. Pistone! Well, he's making a dotted line round the post and crossbar. So unlucky. He got up beautifully and floated in the header. Better clearance. Derby content to just hump the ball down. Oh, that's a nasty collision between Powell and Gravison. And straight away the trainers are on. Exit the Dane, enter the great man Paul Gascoigne.
The Everton substitution, number 18 Paul Gascoigne replacing number 16 Thomas Gravison.
Getting a sporting touch. Look at this if you're squeamish. It's a great long throw. Whoa! It's been coming, and when it came, there was nothing Derby could do to stop it. Everton have the lead from Joe Maxmore on 76 minutes. Unser's throw put the pressure on the defence, and the ball ended up in the back of the net.
The goal scorer for Everton, number 19.
It's been a long time coming, and I think the team thoroughly deserved a win tonight. We hit the post, the crossbar, missed a few other chances, but in the end we finally got the 3 points. You know, I just keep working and training, and myself and Andy Holden, we do a little bit every other day just around the goal, and I think, you know, I believe in it paying off, and it's finally happened.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him because, you know, it's been an awkward situation for us. He's a terrific lad, good worker, excellent player to have in your staff. He never lets anything affect him, and, you know, it's been awkward. We've been playing Steve Watson up front with Thomas Radzinski, and, you know, Joe being the more natural striker. I think is a bit disappointed that, you know, my choice was Steve, but you know, he didn't let it affect him, and you know, he showed his instinct there, which you know, he is good in the penalty area. He showed his instinct to come in and got the goal. So, you know, delighted for everyone in the team, but for him as well.
Everton next faced their boyhood fan Robbie Fowler, yet to score for his new club Leeds, but all that was about to change. Steve Watson missed a good chance just 90 seconds into the match, and on 20 minutes Mark Viduka put Leeds ahead. Fowler scored his first for Leeds on 25 minutes and added his second, Leeds' third, with 20 minutes to go. Best goal of the night, though, went to Joe Max Moore for this stunning volley 7 minutes from time. And David Weir scored from a corner in stoppage time to show Everton just how close it could have been if those goals had come earlier. Everton's disappointments after a great finish at Leeds were compounded with a snowy defeat at the Stadium of Light 4 days later. Sunderland's new American striker and United States of American captain Claudio Reyna scored the only goal of the game. That was 13 minutes from time. Everton then had the misfortune to encounter Manchester United on a bounce back to form at Goodison Park. Ryan Giggs and Ruud van Nistelrooy netting for the champions. 3 days later, and Everton had a chance to put things right against the side they'd beaten on the opening day of the season, Charlton. But the nightmare continued. Graham Stewart netted against his former club, with Jason Newell and Paul Konchesky condemning the Blues to a fourth straight loss. Those 4 successive defeats was a tough end to the year for Everton fans, and the side finally slipped down to 13th in the Premiership after starting the month so well. Everton had a chance to repeat their away win against Middlesbrough from last season in this year's fixture, which fell on New Year's Day. But Gianluca Festa's 50th minute goal was enough to separate the teams in what was a disappointing match. The FA Cup, a welcome distraction from current league form, drew Everton away to Stoke City. And at last, a welcome change in fortune for Walter Smith's men.
There, a break or two, but that's going to be a free kick. Ferguson not impressed, but quickly to his feet. The Iceman cometh, so whether or not the Evertonians will be able to do something. What half the team here want to take this free kick? That's a ploy in itself, but Xavier's on the edge of the area on the right-hand side, if options or anything. Stubbs. Straight through the Stoke defence. The wall. The players running towards him as if they weren't there. Beautifully struck shot. Buried itself like an arrow in the back of the Stoke goal. Walter Smith hasn't had much to cheer about in the last few weeks, but that'll please him. Everton have the lead at the Britannia Stadium.
Ex-Evertonian Peter Reid returned to Goodison with his Sunderland side, but the afternoon belonged to Jesper Blomqvist, who bagged his first goal in an Everton shirt at the same end he'd scored at for Manchester United 3 years earlier.
Went really loose there before Stubbs was able to come and pick it up. Alexanderson in a bit of space. Past Varga. Good tackle, Campbell! The ball taken cruelly off the Everton captain's toes. It looked just a formality. Stubbs, wonderful ball to Alexanderson, who let it run into his path. Campbell, Boston, McAteer. Past Unsworth, but Campbell sorted it out, and again Alexanderson. Plenty of space this time. That looks like Blomqvist. And a combined piece of Swedish genius has given Everton the lead. Gemmell picked Alexanderson out, and he had plenty to aim at. In the end, he picked out Blomqvist, who buried it in the back of the Sunderland net.
That's fantastic, and I think for me this goal meant a real lot. Not just for all the people that's been close to me the whole bloody 2.5 years, and also for all the people here at Everton that have been really helpful and friendly to me. All the players, the staff, and the fans, and everything made it easy for me to get back so quickly onto the pitch and perform pretty okay.
Well, first half, I thought we played very well. We had a few opportunities which, went begging for us, and we managed to get a good goal from Jesper Blomqvist to kick us off, and could have had a couple in the first half. Sunderland had by far the best of the second half territorially, and they pushed us back and made us work all the way. So it was one of those games where we may have thought that, after creating so many chances in the first half, that by not taking them, we would have had a problem in the second. But we worked very hard and held on.
Spurred on by their first win in the league for a month, Everton journeyed to Spurs and chiselled out another fine performance.
Did get in a bit of a tizzle there, but Stubbs is now going to sort this one out for Everton. And a slip there as Sherwood's going to get this one going. Ferdinand! Really, they do have to answer quickly as these games dictate. Cross coming again, this time left-footed. Arriving late is Weir! David Weir has struck an unstoppable shot. Talk about a makeshift striker. This man, perhaps he should be fronting the attack. He hit that like Dixie Dean. The shape of the body as he strikes it. A quality goal. At Everton level.
Another home draw in the FA Cup against lower league opposition, and inspired by the irresistible Paul Gascoigne, Everton made no mistake, even though it was an Orient player who put them ahead.
Anderson's touch with Gemmell keeping them moving. This is a better one here. Oh! Oh dear, oh dear. It's David McGee. And you have to pop the balloon, don't you? I think poor Ashley Bayes didn't have a clue. What a great own goal. Gascoigne. There's a buzz about the place when he gets the ball. He's forcing his way through. Ferguson! Made by Paul Gascoigne. Scored by Duncan Ferguson. Gascoigne, the leaner, meaner version. Look did as a teenager, waltzing his way through the Orient defence and setting up Ferguson, who just had to stroke it home. McGee will be keen to score. So much Scott Canham, because he has. Simonson couldn't hold the shot. Unsworth. Here's Gascoigne again. He's been everywhere. He's gone past three. Campbell. And Gascoigne has made another one. And this time it's a goal for Kevin Campbell. Everton have 3 before half-time. Wonderful play from Gascoigne. And the Orient defence all over the place, but still plenty for Campbell to do, and he did it well. Again, exciting to see him playing out of his skin today. And here he goes again. This is a wonderful run. This is a marvellous goal. And Campbell points to the man who made it. Paul Gascoigne. With one of the most breathtaking runs that Goodison has ever seen. He certainly has the legs of Minton. He whizzes past him twice and feeds Campbell for a magnificent goal. Look at this dexterity, as if they weren't there. 4 players he took out then, and Campbell did brilliantly.
Everton were going great guns in the FA Cup, if only they could replicate their cup form in the Premiership. Their next journey away from Goodison took them down the M6 to Aston Villa, a club they'd already beaten back in October.
This is a great run from Paul Merson. Well, he scored a last-minute winner against Everton at Goodison last season. It looked like getting the first goal then. It was a wonderful run. Real acceleration. Looked up, saw his chance, clipped the crossbar. It's a delicate little chip, a good flick on. Campbell's in here! Well, he might have done better, Kevin Campbell, but he didn't have much time to think about it. The ball came to him in the twinkling of an eye. It was a lovely flick on from Ferguson. Campbell couldn't keep it down.
January saw Everton climb to 12th in the Premiership, beaten only on New Year's Day and looking to climb further as the season progressed. Ipswich Town looked a home banker after George Burley's side's poor performance in the league, but Peralta's goal in the 11th minute was only temporarily pegged back by David Unsworth's penalty for a quarter an hour. After which, Matt Holland's goal secured 3 welcome points for the visitors.
The second half we had almost entire territorial pressure. I never really created anything at all in terms of clear-cut opportunities. So, although we had that pressure and we kept Ipswich in, we worked hard. You know, we didn't really, in the end of the day, deserve to get back onto the scoreline. So, you know, for ourselves, we have to look at ourselves and say that a lot of pressure, but not a lot of creation in there.
Arsenal were at Goodison just 8 days later, winning the game with a freak goal from Sylvain Wiltord.
Here's an opportunity for David Ginola. He's a free kick in his time. A chance for Everton. Floated in, and Ginola hits the outside of the post with a peach of a free kick. And Richard Wright was completely beaten by that one. Just wrong side of the post for Ginola. Wiltord's in behind, and Wiltord has scored for Arsenal.
Could the month get any worse? Well, there was an FA Cup fifth round tie at home to struggling First Division side Crewe Alexandra.
The Blues can get forward themselves now with Blomqvist, the Crewe defence backing away from him. And Jesper Blomqvist doesn't need too much of an imitation to shoot. Chances here, and not a bad effort from Hulse. For the first time he got behind Everton, and the Crewe striker knows that that was his best chance of the game. Superb running by Rob Hulse, and on the turn, so very nearly undoing Everton as the ball safely for them. Gascoigne and Pembridge now, back into Joe Max Moore, edge of the box, not far away with the effort. Well, Joe Max Moore pulled the trigger there, just the wrong side of the post with the final effort.
3 games, 2 defeats, no goals. Only a quality result at Liverpool would placate the restless fans. And how typical of Everton to come up with the goods when you least expected them to.
Nice play from Everton now. A chance for Alessandro Pistone. In comes the cross. Chance for Rosiński. And the ball is in the back of the net. And Thomas Rosiński has scored for Everton. He's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes. And the Canadian has opened the scoring in front of the travelling Everton supporters, but it was a lovely build-up. Pistone does well. In comes the cross. There's Rosiński with the outside of the foot into the back of Chris Kirkland's goal. Lovely ball from Gemmell to Naismith to Pistone, and there's Pistone's ball. Finds Thomas Rosiński, and it's Liverpool 0, Everton 1. Heskey leaves it, chance for Nicholas Anelka, and there's the equalising goal.
The replay against Crewe suddenly achieved save the season status, and again Everton managed to produce the goods, despite Crewe enjoying a whirlwind start to the replay on their own ground.
Throw down the line from Clark. It's cleared in the end. Well, here goes Dean Ashton. And that's a marvellous goal. Check the number, he says. And Crewe have a famous lead. Smith concerned to stay with his man. Get that away. Pembridge. He can get the cross in. He's got Rosiński there. Thomas Rosiński has spared Everton's blushes on the stroke of half-time. Really, to go in behind wouldn't have been a good psychological thing to happen, but Pembridge has stopped that with a great cross. Fortunate to get the ball, but a pinpoint cross, which Rosiński buried, put Everton level. Super slow-mo, you can see. Gets the return from Pembridge. Campbell. Brzezinski's out wide this time. It may come to Campbell. It will come to Campbell! Kevin Campbell has put Everton ahead in this tie for the first time. And it may be the goal that wins the game. It was Brzezinski who scored the equaliser, who pushed the ball into the area. It came through to Campbell. He held his man off and struck a sweet left foot shot, which left the keeper totally helpless. And gave Everton the lead.
Everton were still going great guns in the Cup, but a mixed month in the league saw them slip yet again, this time to 16th, dangerously close to the relegation zone. March heralded the visit of Leeds United, themselves suffering in a run that had seen them fail to win a game since New Year's Day.
And this one looks like Alan Stubbs' effort. Indeed it is, through into the wall against the heels of Kelly. Everton can maintain his possession now with Brzezinski. They can get their noses in front. Contest with Leeds United, who would themselves have possession at the moment. With Viduka, holds off Weir. This could be dangerous. Harry Kewell's in behind Stubbs, and Kewell gets the shot beyond Simonson initially, but good recovery by the Everton keeper. Challenge again from Blomqvist. Now Brzezinski's free, edge of the box. Looks across, finds Jesper Blomqvist. Onsworth on the left ahead of him. Blomqvist shoots, drags the shot wide. Another opening appearing for Everton. And their persistence, dogged determination. Everton, just as they did against Tottenham earlier in the season, failed to turn a majority of numbers into extra points. Ginola! Great effort from the Frenchman. Well, that's what he's been brought here for, a moment of brilliance. That one was moving away all the time from Nigel Martin's right-hand post. And David Ginola almost winning this game for Everton.
A game Everton so easily could have won, but just 3 days later they travelled to the capital to suffer another setback, this time against West Ham. The only goal of the game was scored by Trevor Sinclair on the hour. Just 90 minutes away from a semi-final place, and with 1995 very much in their thoughts, the game against Middlesbrough was, for painful reasons, one to forget. The 3 goals that separated the sides scored in just 7 minutes. First by Noel Whelan after a defensive blunder, Nemeth 2 minutes later, and then the Middlesbrough captain Paul Ince made it 3 just a couple of minutes before half-time. And effectively the hunt for silverware was all but over for Everton for another season.
You know, I think it was there for everyone to see. You know, it was disappointing, you know, that the game was, well, really over in 7 minutes. Disappointing for us, and, you know, disappointing for the fans that travel there, you know.
Middlesbrough was a massive blow. It was a quarter-final of the FA Cup. It was a big chance for us and we never performed, so, you know, it is a massive blow for us, but, you know, we've got to start now.
And it was all too much for the Everton board of directors. After such a disappointing cup exit and a journey towards the relegation zone that Everton fans were only too familiar with, Walter Smith and the club finally parted company. Speculation about who might succeed Walter Smith was ended quickly when Bill Kenwright invited Preston North End boss David Moyes to take charge at Goodison Park. Moyes' track record with the Lancashire club who missed out on the playoffs by a whisker at the end of last season, made him a man Everton were delighted to welcome. His inauguration was just a matter of hours away.
Presumably know by now, Everton Football Club has installed this week a new manager. The moment has arrived. We know you will not let us down. A new revolution is beginning here at Goodison Park. So, will you please make a massive welcome for Everton's new team manager, Mr. Dave.
Didn't quite happen sometimes for me. You start out as a manager, trying to get to the top, and I consider a move to Everton is getting as close to the top as you possibly can.
A productive strike force in Molly and Mulbranch for them. And ex-Evertonian John Collins back to face his old side, of course. So it's Ferguson and Rosiński who are given the job this afternoon of scoring the goals and the responsibility for Everton. For the Blues! Incredible! David Unsworth starts the reign of David Moyes with a superb volley, edge of the box. And it doesn't get much better when you start your Everton career as manager. Welcome, Mr. Moyes.
Under the David Moyes era here at Everton Football Club, scored this afternoon.
Well, barely a minute on the clock. And the layback from Rosiński inviting Unsworth to volley his second goal of the season. Fairy tale start for Everton here at Goodison. Cleverly done, and real venom about Fulham's attacking three this afternoon in Marley, Boa Molte and Sahar. Van der Sar miskicks, Ferguson's in, and Everton are two. Delight for the Blues, and disaster for Edwin van der Sar. Duncan Ferguson repays the faith of his new manager with the captaincy, with his third of the season. Absolute delight around Goodison. Van der Sar got it all wrong, and Duncan Ferguson stole it off him. Well, the Dutch international keeper having a nightmare. He's already made one bad mistake, and the second was punished. And Everton and David Moyes are 2-0 in front. No way past Messrs Weir and Gravison. Here is Gravison. He loses up to Boa Molte. And Gravison needs to be careful. He's already had a yellow. And Thomas Gravison will play no further part in this game for Everton. Turns away from Hibbert, good movement, and a good finish, and it's Mulbranch who drags Fulham back into the game. Lovely twist from Hales. David Moyes looking to set off on the right note for his new club. So much success at Preston North End, and now he's in the Premiership. And that's the first win for David Moyes' side. Everton survived the second half onslaught from Fulham, but the work done in the first half with the goals from Duncan Ferguson and David Unsworth, despite the sending off of Thomas Gravison, gave Everton the 2-0 half-time lead. Steve Mulbranch pulled one back for Fulham. I can hardly hear myself here. The Evertonians, to a fan, applauding this performance by David Moyes' side. It's the final score at Goodison. It's 3 points for Everton. It's 2-1 to the Blues.
Well, we had a good training session yesterday. It was really sharp, and we were zipping it around, and it was good. It was lively. We've come in today, and the gaffer's come out on the field before the game and took the warm up, which is unusual, but it was good because he got us all together. And he's gone out there and he's just told us really after the disappointing result and performance last week against Middlesbrough, he said just go out there and put it right, and you know, we've done that. Well, it's just we've got out of the traps. You know, we're flying. You know, we're really up for it. And Thomas Rosiński's just laid one back, and of course it's sweet. And you know, it's a great start for us.
Oh, it was fantastic. I feel as if I've been here 6 weeks instead of 2 days. But I'm just delighted we got the result. It was hard fought, the way the game went, and you know, the atmosphere inside Goodison today was incredible. I dreamt it would win and would score goals like that, but I certainly didn't dream about the way the game would go, because Fulham played well against us and we had to work really hard to be in the game. But when you're at the bottom end of the table, you're going to have to do that.
A stunning victory, but even greater things were just a week away with a journey to fellow strugglers Derby County.
Ferguson's touch. Ferguson gets it back. Defender bearing grips. Now it's Alexanderson. Hit it low. Easy for Higginbottom. Gravison to David Unsworth. He does it again. 2 goals in 2 weeks under new management. He is turning out to be David Moyes' lucky general. Well, it was up and at him from Everton. Untidy clearance from Higginbottom. Gravison to Unsworth, and a similar goal to the one he scored last week against Fulham, the first goal of the David Moyes tenure. A dagger to the heart of Derby. They've taken a tiny touch off the heel of Barton, but Unsworth is claiming it. Everton goes straight for goal! Alan Stubbs makes it 2-0, and Everton can see light at the end of this relegation-haunted tunnel. A bazooka. Well, it's all hands to the pump for David Moyes' team, and the 2 goals coming from 2 Evertonians and 2 defenders. And he will introduce Branko Struper, the Belgian striker, momentarily. Now Everton going for a third. Rosiński touched the cross. Alexanderson, 3-0 Everton. David Moyes is proving to be the Messiah. They can't believe it. They've not had a day like this since the opening game of the season. Everton escaping the doldrums and escaping it in style. Derby County have self-destructed. Rosiński teed it up. No Derby defender in sight. And Nicholas Alexanderson puts the game well beyond Derby now. It's a scrappy goal in a scrappy game, but a goal which may well mean that David Moyes has seen off the relegation fears. Clancy's cross, Hibbert's header. Oh, Derby get one back. Struper's first touch of the game. A magical goal, but what does it mean? Ferguson. Gravison. Everton playing with a little more confidence now. Alexanderson. Ferguson. Maybe too confident. It was a nonchalant flick, but it's Alexanderson who wins the ball back. Taunts, teases Derby, and Ferguson scores Everton's 4th. The Evertonians are in dreamland. 9 goals away from home before this afternoon, and then 4 in one afternoon. A man who has the badge of this club tattooed to his heart. The skipper keeping what appeared to be a sinking ship buoyant. Alexanderson, the creator. Ferguson with 2 goals in 2 games under the new manager. Now you see why the Scouse fans love him so much. And there's a tough situation He always comes go. 4-1. 5-goal thriller. Clancy's corner away, cries Simonsen, and Derby get another goal through Morris. A time for John Gregory to assess the character, and Morris has come good. Rob Lee. Good cross. Oh, 4-3! What a dramatic game this is developing into. Struper scores his second, and John Gregory tells his players, have belief.
The games are big, you know, it's been a hard, long season for them already. But we know, it's closing in on us now, and if we could win another couple of games, hopefully that would get rid of that feeling of relegation. But, you know, that's still got to be done, and that's still got to be completed.
It's back down to earth on Monday morning after the Derby game, and it's right back on it. You know, we're right back working hard, closing teams down, and that's what we've got to do from now to the end of the season to get ourselves out of trouble. Then we'll sit back and maybe enjoy a couple of the games under the new manager. But until we're mathematically safe, there's not a real enjoyment sort of off the pitch. It's all back down to work on Monday morning, getting stuck in and doing the job until we're mathematically safe.
A second successive away game took David Moyes' resurgent Everton to Bobby Robson's Champions League place chasing Newcastle. Duncan Ferguson put Everton ahead in only the second minute. But 2 goals in a minute by Alan Shearer and Carl Court took Newcastle into the lead. Although Nicholas Alexanderson scored his second in a week to equalise, the second half mauling with goals from O'Brien, Solano and Solano again, finally topped off by Bernard a minute from time, demonstrated that this was a relegation fight for Everton with a few points still to grab. Everton hadn't experienced such a month for some time, but at least David Moyes had secured 2 wins out of 3 and taken the Blues away from the depths of the relegation dogfight, at least for another week or so. Everton could now do themselves a favour against Bolton, but it wouldn't be an easy game, and Duncan Ferguson certainly didn't help matters.
Something's gone on off the ball there, and the referee wants a word with Duncan Ferguson. Could this be bad news for Everton? The hands were raised. Steve Banks has a bit of a decision to make, doesn't he? It's a red card for Duncan Ferguson. Just what the Blues didn't need. Just what you don't expect from your captain. 19 minutes into the game, as if they didn't have a big enough job on their hands in getting 3 points here. The skipper is off for an early bath. Didn't really get a full view of that, but the defender, or Bobic, coming back was poleaxed, and it was a punch to the ribs. Still lack visible desire though, and it's an important ingredient at this stage of the season. Even when the legs aren't willing, the brain has to drive them on. The heart, the passion for the badge. Steve Watson inside, looking for David Unsworth. It's out with Pistone. He might fancy one on his left foot here, Pistone. On his right maybe. Pistone with the shot, and it's a fantastic goal from Alexandro Pistone. And who'd have thought it? The first shot on the left foot was looking more likely. And that's his first goal of the season. He hopes the injury nightmare is at an end for him. And what a fantastic finish on the right foot. And he's absolutely delighted with that, isn't he? Kevin Poole stood no chance. It was a good block. It felt nice, didn't it, on his right, in the near post. And there's going to be no stopping that one. And it's first blood to Everton. 40 minutes, exactly the time that Everton would have loved to have scored that one. Rudzinski, who tries to make that bit of space. It's Scott Gemmell now. What can he do from the right-hand side? The cross is a good one into the box. Rudzinski on his left foot. Rudzinski scores for Everton. And it's about time, isn't it, Thomas? Third time lucky for the Canadian. And that one arguably was harder than the first 2 to score. 11 minutes into the second half. And there's a sigh of relief around Goodison Park. No bigger than the sigh of relief from the player himself. A little nod to his teammates, and he's delighted with that, isn't he?
Scott Gemmell's cross again is driving run down that right hand side, just the dummy by Alexanderson, and Gotti's clearance wasn't true, and it's got a deflection off the tail end, I think, of Paul Warhurst as he tried to make up the space at the back, and it took Poole, and it's a 2-goal lead for Everton. He's hoping to get his way back into Sam Allardyce's plans. Charlton's free kick towards that back post. It's a difficult one for Everton to defend, and then Gotti comes in on the back post. Simonson could just see it going across his eye line, and you expected maybe the fullback to deal with that, but then Gotti gives Bolton that lifeline. Slips but has time to clear for the Blues. Rodzinski and Poole's come rushing out. Did he get one past Poole? Rodzinski through the nutmegs. What can he do here? Rodzinski slides it into Chadwick, scores for Everton, and that's beyond Bolton now. And Nick Chadwick gets his first goal for the Blues. How important, how delighted is the manager, how delighted are the Everton fans. Well, Rodzinski done ever so well there, didn't he? Racing down the right-hand side. What possessed Poole to come out as far as he did, God only knows. But he robbed the goalkeeper, nutmegged the fullback, and slid in Nick Chadwick, who was a grateful recipient of his first senior goal for Everton. In fact, it was just the shimmy, wasn't it? Whitlow come across, there you go, slide that one in, and he does, and it's 3-1, and with 5 minutes remaining, surely it's game over.
People last year, most important goal, the one you most remember, and I always used to say like one I used to hit from 25 yards in the under-19s or something, but I don't think many goals I'll score throughout my career will give me the satisfaction that one gave me. As you said at the Gladys Street end, I mean, it's just unbelievable, and you don't normally see a celebration like that from me either, so I've taken a bit of stick from the lads, but yeah, a special moment for me.
Delight for the Everton fans, but a daunting away game at Chelsea proved the change of mood to be short-lived. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank putting away chances in the 26th and 44th minutes. His goals added to in stoppage time by Gianfranco Zola's late finish. Everton looked to go into the relative comfort blanket security of 40 points plus against already relegated Leicester City, but it was to prove more of a challenge than it looked on the cards.
Savage, it's on the end of it, and this is Dean. It's a gift. Everton lost the ball, and they never got it back. David Moyes not too proud to be a ball boy. Savage again, they playing with passion for a team already relegated, and Stubbs and Gerrard in a mix-up, and Dean has a second. Unless they have two before half-time. Stubbs and Gerrard, who played like this their first game together. And Dean said thank you very much. Walker is looking as the corner comes across. Alexanderson. Could be done there. Gravison. He'll get it again. Plenty to aim at. And it's Nick Chadwick! Nick Chadwick heads a goal he will never forget. Got to push everyone forward. Oh, Ferguson! He was the most forward of all. And Everton have fought their way back, having given away 2 goals to get level at 2-2 with 4 minutes to go.
I've had a little bit of a chance, and I like to think I've taken it in some respects, but as my dad keeps telling me, I haven't done anything yet. But I think there is a little bit of optimism I can take from the end of the season. How I've started
especially in the home games, and take that into next year. But I don't think I could have dreamt to have started any games and score 3 goals. But that's the way it's worked out. And next season, I've just got to look forward to perhaps trying to cement my place in the first side.
Everton demonstrating they could fight back when needed, but the early disappointments of the Leicester game were put behind them at their first visit to Southampton St Mary's Stadium, and a delight for the travelling fans.
Tessum gives it straight to Campbell. Chance on here. Watson is forward, and Watson has scored! Steve Watson for Everton. And it all stemmed from a Southampton mistake. Joe Tessum inadvertently playing it into the path of Campbell. Watson continued his run, and that's a really tidy finish from the fullback. Well, if Everton were edging towards guaranteed survival, that's another big step in the process. Steve Watson's 3rd Premiership goal of the season. And a very neat take, and a roll of delight from the player from the northeast.
From a personal point of view, managed to just follow me pass forward, and it broke luckily to Kev. Kev laid a great ball through, and I think the only option was to try and clip it over the keeper, and it worked.
David Moyes' second away win in only 4 attempts, and now to Graham Souness's Blackburn, still looking for a point to make themselves certain of escaping relegation.
Weir again up there. Goes towards Weir, who gets his head in there. Chadwick! It's in! The cheekiest of finishes in an almighty scramble.
A disappointing end to a month that had produced 2 wins, a draw and 2 defeats. And Everton was safe for another Premiership season, and they had a final game around the corner, away to the new Premiership champions. This was a real opportunity to go out all guns blazing.
Very involved here is Ashley Cole. On the chest by Stokes. Oh, backhand! It's taken less than 4 minutes.
Says, watch this, Lucy's too far, he allows him to turn, and then once he's past him, well, I think he ain't going to be caught by Lee Dixon. I think Stepanovs has got to, as covering centre-back, get himself across and try and influence this, because Lee Dixon ain't going anywhere. What a finish. It's been on the cards, you have to say. It's been a really good spell of football for Everton.
David, a time to reflect. Has it been everything that you thought it would be?
I think so. I think it's been a bit of a roller coaster right from the start, and you know, but a good roller coaster. Most of it was going up the way rather than down the way, so I can't complain.
Let's just take you back to your first day with Everton Football Club. I still can't think of a better phrase than whirlwind. You were whisked in, endless press interviews, and then virtually straight into the dressing room for the Fulham game.
Yeah, prior to it, I had no sleep hardly for 2 or 3 days because I had been doing quite a few games for Preston. I've been on the road. There'd been a lot of speculation regarding this as well, and then when I actually got to the press conference on the Thursday night, it was mad for a few hours back home, and then up to take the training on the Friday morning, and before I knew it, in the dressing room, you know, sort of getting involved for the Fulham game.
And the reception from the Evertonians when you were introduced to the crowd before that Fulham game is something I know that you'll cherish forever.
3 times, but I'll certainly always remember that day. That'll go in amongst all those things, the day when I walked out at Goodison.
3 points from your first game. You're back at home Saturday night. Could you believe it had only been 48 hours?
Oh, it was great. You know, it was a great feeling when you can go home sort of satisfied with your day's working. Like everybody else, I think the first thing you think about, come on, let's go home and get a couple of drinks and get out. I went home and fell asleep in the settee. I was knackered. So that was the way it ended, but probably I was pleased it ended that way. And you know, it was a nice feeling waking up on the Sunday morning.
Now, very quickly, it went from looking over our shoulder at the relegation places to looking above us towards the Intertoto places. I know you were disappointed not to make the Intertoto, but it's a case for sure of objective achieved in that we're still in the Premiership.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you had said to me, you know, we'd like you to qualify for the Intertoto when I first took the job, I'd have said, don't be daft. Let's just try and get safe. You know, when I got the job, I was looking around to see where am I going to get these points from. And obviously we done that. The players responded really, really well, and we got it. Yeah, there was a disappointment at the end because we had a chance to beat Blackburn at home to go 10th. And you know, it would have been a great thing to have gone 10th before we went to play Arsenal in the last game of the season. And unfortunately, we just slipped away a little bit. But that's been the nature of the Premiership. The team's probably in the middle to bottom half all season.
When you came to Everton, you had 9 games to go. Did you always look upon it as a period of stability? And then after that, during the summer, let's start thinking about progression then?
I did think that if I could get through, then, you know, don't change too much. Just come in and just try and move things on slightly. But then obviously try and take the club forward during the close season if we can, or start to put some foundations in where we think that could start happening. You know, and we're in the process at the moment of looking towards that. But you know, it's not easy, and it's going to take a lot of patience from supporters. But you know, I think the Evertonians, what I've noticed at the moment, I think if they can see what the manager's trying to do, you know, maybe it doesn't always work, and I think in the past they'd be the first ones to admit that maybe some of the directions they've gone in the past haven't worked. And I think that now, you know, we need a period where we can try and develop some of our own young players and bring them into the team. If we bring young players to the club, that they're given a time to settle and develop, because if you don't have that base to work from, you're always going out into the market to sign players. And let's be fair, you know, there's been a lot of players come and gone at Everton recently, and you know, a club like this who haven't got bundles and bundles of cash, the money we do have, we have to spend very carefully now. I'm enjoying every minute I've been at Everton. I've said, and, you know, and I really mean it, you know, that the biggest strength of this football club since I've been here is definitely their public. Their public is the strength, there's no question, because their team isn't as good as what their public support is. Their club hasn't been run as well as what the support are. So the supporters are the strength here, and you know, there's a lot of managers will say these things, and you know, there's a bull with a word after it, which managers would say, but in this case it isn't. This is from the heart. This is what I feel. I think that the public here are excellent, and I hope that in some way we can repay them. But obviously I'm not daft. I know that we have to get results, and we need to try and do it the right way. But I do think that the supporters will realise that, you know, there's been pain. There'll probably be a little bit more pain in the future to come before we start making progress.
A season of change then for Evertonians, full of the usual twists and turns. But perhaps this season ends with a new era of Everton successes lying ahead. with a manager hungry to prove himself on the Premiership stage in the seasons to come.